So Danna, what's your Italian name again?
My Italian name, it's actually Irish. It's Danna Dian Canelli.
How's Canelli Irish?
It's, well, if it was Italian, it'd be with a C, and mine's Kenelly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, all white girl.
Canelli.
Yeah, Canelli. Wow.
And so what's your deal? You have like a big family or a small family or?
There's only 5 of us. I'm sorry, 6 of us now. My parents divorced about 5 years ago. My dad's already remarried, and his wife has about 4 kids. That jumped on, and then
either she has 4 kids, or
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's got 4 kids, and so that jumped on. And then my mom, as soon as my mother and father divorced, went out right away and had a baby. And my youngest sister, the original 3 of us, is me. I'm the oldest, and then I have 11-month younger brother Nick, and then my baby sister.
He's 11 months old?
No, 11 months.
11 months, okay.
Yeah, so we're not a full year, you know what I mean?
Right.
So for 1 month we're the same age, whatever.
Right.
And then my baby sister who's 21.
That must have been horrible growing up because you're like, I told you to sit down. He's like, you can't tell me nothing because you.
Oh, he was. Nicky was. He was something else. He was something else. He would torment. Oh man. But you know, he's a good kid. He's funny. Our family always had that laughing, you know, until you're like knocking over, or you know, until you can't breathe. You're like, stop, can't breathe, you know. But I kind of find myself being hilarious sometimes, you know. But
and family's different now. Like, you know, like it used to be. It was so strange if somebody was like, "Oh, our parents are divorced." And you'd be sad for him. You'd be like, oh, really, man? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up. You know, I didn't know. But now it's like, this is my dad. This is my other dad. He's not really my dad, but he thinks he's my dad. So whenever he's around, just address him as dad. You know, like there's so much. You know.
I think that because I just turned 27 actually in November, but I was gonna say 26, but I feel that kind of is in this generation, especially right now. Do you notice, you know, men my age, say for example, you know, they don't propose like, you know, every girl wants to be proposed to. They don't even know what, half of them don't even know what proposals are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just don't have that, you know, I'm going to get my fiance, you know, the most magnificent, you know, proposal and wedding, and that's on the end of the list, you know?
You know what I thought was interesting was I read an article that was, I was listening to the radio. I was listening to talk radio, and they were talking about, they polled 100 people with the same question, which was, would you consider taking someone out for the first date? Like, would you do that for the first date? Take them out to dinner, take them to a movie? And most people now say no. Like, I'm not going to spend money on a stranger. If we meet on a chat room, if we meet on a dating site,
see, all that, I'm against all that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's like the new thing, though. Like, people aren't going to go and want to have dinner with you just to talk and get to know you. They want you to give them a profile that's written out, that they can read those lines, and then get behind that. And but it's so different.
It's like, so impersonable. You know what I mean? It's like, think back in the 50s. I would love, I'm all about, you know, women supporting each other, like we were talking about my brand earlier, and it's so sad how ugly and negative people are, and how negativity starts. For example, I had and it was bought for me. I didn't, you know, go personally choose it, but I got a bid meat fur. And I had, you know, posted it on Facebook. You know, it was big and beautiful. You know, someone bought it for me for a present. And I had someone make a comment, and it was pretty rude, and I ignored it. And then a guy that had already made a nice comment went back and joined on to the guy that,
it's like he retracted his statement.
And all he could say was, oh, she needs to get her roots done. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's all, and it's like, look at how it starts. You know what I mean? Everyone's got to just realize with this Trump thing and all this political stuff, let it happen. You know, let's just see how it flows. And then you can have your controversies and all of that. You know, they're not even giving the guy a chance yet.
Well, I think the social media has made people be a little more like, if it were legal to like throw a mud pie and then dodge around the corner.
Yeah, they're like, behind the scenes. Yeah, like they don't gotta really.
Yeah, they don't really have to be seen, so they say more negative and really abrasive. Like, there was a comedian that was talking about that. He was like, you know, if you ever notice, like, when people are driving, they'll say like the meanest thing that they wouldn't say like to your face. Like, if they're driving and you cut them off, they're like, I hope you fucking burn in hell, you son of a bitch. And it's like, really? Over a lane change? Like, really? It's that serious? But people are like that on the internet, you know what I mean?
And they are, and you know, they're on that, like that on the road too. Like we were saying, we're from Cali. We know how to drive out there, you know, because and the people out here, it's so crazy. They just, half of them don't turn on their lights at night. You know what I mean? 70% of them are drunk. You know, have to watch out for them swiping you out. And then, the drivers out here, I haven't quite figured it out, but they're a little different.
It's very different. So, Danna, you started a movement, a small movement now, but it's surely going to be a bigger movement.
Absolutely.
I think that we are going into the first real change in women's rights, women's empowerment in this country. Like, I say the first one because we gave women the right to vote, but that kind of was the only thing they got. It was like, look, you can either, you get to vote, or that's pretty much it. And then women took that.
It's just like the example of, like I said, I was just in Atlanta filming a few scenes for a movie, and it's just like how the white people that are down there, how they still treat African American people. You know
it's
what
crazy.
I mean?
It's crazy.
I couldn't believe some of the things, like, anyways, but you know what I mean? It just, it's same type of situation.
Now, you being white, and of course, I will never get to, they don't even have like a sex change that would make me white. You know what I mean? So, like, I'll never be white. I'll never know what is said behind closed doors. Did anybody say anything that tipped you off? Like, did somebody pull you aside and go, you know, we don't like black folks because of this and this and this?
Oh, no, we had
They just don't.
Yeah, we had a taxi cab driver, and, it was on my Snapchat, so I don't have it. But, sorry. And we had the most hillbilly back doors, you know. Where are we going and when are we going to get there? It's already been 40 minutes, you know, just crazy, crazy. And I'm asking them a little bit about the city because all I'm seeing is trees, you know. I'm like, where's, like, you know, the hypiness, you know, where,
Right.
I guess everything's downtown.
Right.
So everything's real backwoods over there, you know. And everyone's got that slang, that real deep, but, you know, it's pretty. I think the African American women down there are, you know, a lot prettier than, I don't want to say a lot prettier than here, but I feel like they're more wholesome. Maybe because there's, you know, morals and things down in the South that, like down in the South compared to here. You know what I mean? Things that we be running around doing over here would never be happening over there.
What they call that Southern comfort. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know to open the door. You know that when someone comes, you offer them
and
a
it's
sweet
always
tea.
relieving, you know?
Yeah.
It's nice to have that.
Yeah.
And the only way I think we can get all that is for, you know, like my brand. Take my brand, get women to start sticking together, especially pretty girls, because they're so mean to each other. I mean, I have no problem. I actually enjoy if I see, you know, a beautiful woman walk up, oh, you look great, and she just looks at me like, what? Like,
oh, that's interesting.
It is, and it's sad because we should all be embracing each other, you know? Because, you know, you men, if we all get together, you guys out. You women will run this world.
Yeah, well, I'm curious about that. Why do you think women are so catty? Because, like, when I see two women get together, it seems like they're really nice to each other. Like, oh my gosh, girl, it's your birthday, oh my God, what's up, what's up? And in 5 minutes, they know everything about each other, whereas two guys get together, it's just like, what's up?
Half the time, I'll be real with you, half the time that's fake BS, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And people just want to feel comfortable at the instant moment, you know. For example, every time I walk in a room, especially the women, I'm a vibe reader, you know. I'll go introduce myself to every woman first, you know, and then to their men. That's just my way I've been, and I feel like it gets the woman a little, you know, off the Richter, off me, you know what I'm saying? Because instantly you're the center of attention, and then the women don't like that because nobody wants someone prettier than them in the room, I guess.
But why is that? Why do they have to? I mean, because that's really hating on you.
It is, and I dealt with it my whole life. To be honest with you, I probably have 2 girlfriends that I can say are real, you know, ride or die girlfriends. People don't give me the chance. People don't give me, you know, they see the blonde hair, the pretty, you know, pictures and all that, but there's so much more behind that, you know what I mean? If you sat down and got to know me, I'm the goofiest. I mean, I'll get your ass laughing, rolling on the floor, you know? I love that stuff, you know, being the pretty and then taking it all the way, you know? And I just think people just don't give me that time of day. And, for example, if I have, like, over the phone interviews, it'll go, I know the sound, how it goes. It's going to be good, right? But I already know as soon as I walk through that door, whoop, it's all going to change. You know what I mean?
Really?
And I just learned to, hey, brush it off. You know what I mean? Because you're not paying my bills. You're not stopping me. I wish it wasn't this way. I'm sorry I make you feel whatever way it is. You know? But
so you're saying your attractiveness is more of a problem?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Pretty, and I know people would think that's crazy, but I'm being 100% real with you. It's not all glitz and glamour. Pretty has its ugliness, you know. It really does. You know, it is what it is, and it's kind of sad that a lot of people aren't more informed, you know, of it. Like yourself, I would totally think dealing with girls all the time that, you know, the catty stuff, and then all of a sudden they're talking, you know, shit behind each other's backs and whatever, and I think that's more of a fitting in thing when people do that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I have a particular time and space that I feel in people's lives. So even though I meet a lot of people through the show, I don't really get to know them outside of I mean, and sometimes we may talk for 40 minutes, we may talk for an hour, but usually when they're done with the show, it's not like they call me back and go, hey man, I was wondering about blah, blah, blah. It's not that type of relationship. It's like, and it's actually very strange too, because when they interview, most people will open up like you have no idea. Like, I don't know why you decided to tell me what you told me, but you did. But then I'm also not their friend after the interview because it's kind of like they did what they needed to do that was cathartic, and now they're done with that.
Oh, they did their step on you. Now they're moving up.
I don't know. It's just interesting,
Well, that's very wise of you to even realize that concept. You know what I mean? But technically, that's what it is in this industry. Is I'll work with this photographer, this one, and I'll have them under my portfolio, and boom, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Instead of building business relationships. Right. And a lot of these girls tend to be, and I think a lot of my business background comes, from the corporate jet charter sales. And I learned business, you cannot mix personal and business whatsoever. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of these girls get a Model Mayhem account, start putting pictures up, and then they have these, the pages, the model pages. And like I said, any guy go gets a camera, right. And, all of a sudden he's a photographer.
Right.
And I don't think these models are well enough informed, because they can be dangerous situations sometimes. You're right. Going to a place, by yourself, which you shouldn't be going anywhere by yourself for the first shoot. But I would just strive for the ones that, because you're going to get tons and tons of, people hitting you up for jobs, and just do a little research, do a little homework, see who this person's worked with, the feedback, and go from there. But the modeling industry, especially the one I'm more in, because I'm obviously not a runway model, I'm not tall enough, but I can look pretty in pictures.
Well, that's interesting. Models have said that before, that it's interesting. How tall are you?
I don't know, probably like 5.
Let's get a vibe going.
Yeah, I think.
See what we're working.
I got flats on today.
Okay, I'm gonna do the whole thing. Let's see.
Okay, let's do the whole thing. Oh, then you gotta get back my socks. Yeah, I think I'm like 5'3".
So you're 5'3". So what's interesting is that when people talk about modeling, okay, Pamela Anderson is 5'2", 5'3".
Oh, she's one of my favorite.
5'2", 5'3". Kardashian, she's not a super tall girl either. She's probably 5'2", 5'3". So these are some of the most photographed women in the history of modeling.
Right.
But they're not 5'6", 5'10", 5'11".
Right.
Because how much runway figures into the grand scheme of things anyway.
Right.
Yes, there is runway, but then there's print, there's bikini.
And runway is not so much more glamour. It's more because I did there's a place downtown called the Stitch Factory. It's now Taffa. But because when I first started working on the swimwear line, I did as much research as I could, behind the scenes. Because I didn't know the fashion industry. I know how to shop. I know how to put things together. But there's so much to it, and I forgot what I was getting to. What was the question again?
Wasn't really a question. We're talking about modeling, sizes. You mentioned Stitch Factory.
Oh, Stitch Factory. Yeah, I learned how to sew and make garments and things like that. And so once I got to learn how to do that, then I got to start doing production on my swimsuits and things like that. So, but I had to go. I couldn't find everything I needed online. I wanted those hands-on. You gotta kind of show me how to do it. I can't do the YouTube watching. Right. So yeah, but I can sew, I can tailor, I can do it all now.
So you sew this line together. I want to talk about your line. I want to talk about your line and your brand. Let's talk about that. So first things first, how and why did this happen?
This happened because well, let's go. Let's back up a little bit. Yeah, let's back up a little bit. The whole Vegas thing, I'm actually a SoCal girl, IE, shout out. But for about the last 5.5 years, I would shoot out a Thursday, go work at Sapphires, make my money, and go right back home, and plus my modeling gigs. And dancing just wasn't for me. I wasn't going nowhere. And a lot of times you see, 50-year-old dancers in there. They look great. They look awesome, but that's just not me.
It's a telltale sign of the future if you're not careful.
Yes, and I got a little experience of that, spent my money real quick, and finally I you know, put my big girl panties on and said, hey, I'm going to either have to put some money away, get some investors or something, because I'm going to do this line and I'm going to give it 100%. You know what I mean? And that helped me with actually a lot of other problems I had. And, you know, I've played in the streets. You know, I'm not your perfect little angel. So that's where the whole...
you were hustling.
I wasn't hustling nothing.
Oh, no, you weren't hustling.
No.
Okay. Erase that.
They came to get the hustling. But that's the name of the game of the dance world, you know,
Sure.
and you either love it or you hate it, you know. And I personally was one of those people that was not like, yay, I'm going to work, get a dance, yeah, you know.
Are there some girls like that?
Oh my God. They got the boobs, they got the,
yay.
and they're like, yes, you know, but I'm like, hey, how you doing, you know, put the whole little show on, but, you know, it's something that I didn't realize until after I found my passion and then I really started getting into it. The modeling's always been a passion, but the swimwear line, that and then how I could incorporate the help with the brand helping, you know, abused women. That's what I particularly wanted to focus on. And any woman that needs help with self-confidence or, you know, just needs a friend or anything like that. I want to show society that just because I'm a blonde or this girl's a little thick, it doesn't mean that she can't be beautiful or pretty.
Sure.
And that's where pretty girl power comes from, you know. And I know there's probably be a little buzz on that about, it's all about pretty girls. Well, I'm talking about every single girl in the world, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about this one, and this one, you know, because technically I really want to actually go a little deeper and get, you know, kind of different you're an average, you know, models, you know, in bikinis and, you know, rock that. Because it's all on the person. It's all on the, you know, person, how far they want to go and if they want it. You know, I'm just here to help, you know.
And so you're making a line of clothes, bikinis or some of them?
Bikinis and shirts, you know, for market. The shirts and hats and all that is more for the marketing. But the swimwear was the initial, you know, get going of it. And right now we have 6 of my designs that I actually drew out, did my whole skip packet and everything, and those are actually being made in protocols, right?
I
mean, when they make an example, that's protocol, right? Not protocol, prototype.
Prototype, yes.
Prototype.
Okay,
Yeah, so 6
prototype.
that are in prototype. And I want to hopefully be ready for this summer. But you know what? You can't push it. When you're doing a brand like this that has modeling lifestyle, you know, just, you know, the whole thing with girl power, it's all about girl power for me. And I want to really get that message delivered through my brand and sexy girl power, you know, that, you know what vibe I'm talking about.
Right.
So.
And so this must be very exciting for you.
Oh,
this
I'm
is
very
probably
excited.
your brim to the like. So, what is hard about it?
Oh my God. First of all, like I said, I'm 27 years old. You know, just been dancing for the last 5 years. You know, but thank God, you know, back when I was 17, I was taught the whole business of, you know, the private jets and things like that, because that is benefiting me now trying to build my empire, you know. Definitely had to do the school thing. I had to go in, learn the sewing, the measurements, so when I take, you know, my designs to a manufacturer, we understand each other, you know.
Sure.
And, but you find yourself just not catching up quick enough, you know. You want everything to, you know, come the next day, and you gotta really pump your brakes, because I'm a very impatient person, and I kind of want it now, and, you know, and I've found myself, you know, things working out better when you just take a step back.
Take your time, slow down.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, is there something that you would say is one key thing that's made you be more successful at this from some life experience? Was it family upbringing? Was it some spirituality? Like, what do you think kept you on the right path to get this done? Whereas some people would have just started it, and of course it's fun to start things, but they don't finish.
The streets weren't for me. You know what I mean? The street life was not for me. You know, I went and touched the fire, and I was cool with that, and I went right back home.
Right.
You know what I mean? It terrifies me that some of these girls, you know, like over in Boulder Highway, for example, these girls that look like they're not even 17, 18 years old, you know,
and they've got hard life experience already.
Oh man, and you know, you try to go approach these girls, and their guys are already on them, and it's hard to really help these girls because they're really brainwashed. And I think that's helped me through my whole, you know, path too. Is I'm a very strong-willed person, and if I believe in something, then I'm gonna let you know. You know.
And so, what would you want the best thing to happen with your brand? How would you like it to touch other people's lives?
I just want people to feel pretty, you know. I want people to feel good about themselves. I feel true happiness is when you have confidence and you know you can do this, and you don't need that guy that, you know, you're so worried about when you got 3 kids to feed, you know. These mothers out here, you know, especially single moms, shout out to you single moms, because they're on the grind. Those are the gangsters, you know what I mean? For real. And they totally, for me, is the definition of a gangster. You know, they get on the grind, they get it taken care of, and they get it done. And, you know, they raise those children the best way they can, you know. So any way I can help these girls. I've only so far been down to the shelters and things like that. I want to expand that and, you know, find kind of different things we can do. You know, right now I'm doing makeup classes, teaching them how to do their makeup again.
Oh, wow.
Because the first thing, you know, for girls, you know, look in the mirror and feel pretty, and
sure, it
brings back, you know, memories and sensations and stuff, you know, and it kind of gets that confidence, like, oh yeah, I do look good, you know? I forgot about that. Because some of these girls, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and no one deserves to live life like that, because, you know, we trusted a human being, and that human being took advantage of the person, or whatever the situation is. You know, I'm personally a victim of domestic violence. Same, you know, course as all the other ones do. You go back, keep going back, and finally I was like, you know what? And on my end, I really was trying to just help this person, you know. I truly loved him, and I didn't understand the physical abuse, you know. And one day I just said, Danna, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
You know, this is not you. I mean, I was losing my self-confidence, and then just all kinds of things. And finally I just snapped right out of it, and just, you know, that pissed him off real quick, but he was gone, you know. And that was probably the best thing I could have ever done, because if that never happened, then I'd probably still be dancing and still be supporting him and all that.
Wow.
Today, yeah.
Wow. So you were supporting a man
pretty
while
much.
you were
I mean,
dancing, and he was abusive.
Yes.
Wow.
Abusive, jealous, the whole 9 yards, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was actually a relationship where, you know, he has some tattoos on his face, you know, girl. Oh.
He had tattoos on his face?
Yeah.
So you're the first girl that I've ever met that was dating someone with a tattoo on his face.
I know.
I mean, not just like a tear from prison, but he had a whole situation
He had a few,
going.
yeah. And that was my first question when I met him. I'm like, what the hell would possess you to put some tattoos on your face? Because he was a good-looking guy.
Wow.
Excuse me for a second. But yeah, the tattoos were always... It was just always awkward, you know, when we would go out in public and stuff. You know, I always knew he'd never be the father of my children, because I'm not married, no kids. I'm only going to ask my daddy one time to walk me down that aisle, you know.
Right.
I want to do that right, you know, but right now it's career time, crunch time, get it done, and then we'll do that later.
Sure.
So.
Dan, how do people contact you if they want to become a fan of what you're doing, they want to be a support, maybe they want to invest, you never know?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Social media, we have Instagram, it's Danna, and what's the bottom line? Underscore.
Underscore? Yeah.
So it's Danna _Dian, DIANK. You can follow me there on Instagram. Snapchat is D Kennelly, KENNELLY 89. And
hold on, I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna pick up from that question.
Okay.
I have 2 kids, and so my 6-year-old was playing with my phone, and he changed the ringer on it.
Oh,
and so I didn't know that until I got a call earlier today. I'm like, what the hell
I
is
think
this?
that's the most obnoxious ringer too.
I don't know what he was doing, but he changed it. I'm going to have to change it back. But anyway, I'm going to pick up from that question.
Okay.
So, Danna, if people want to contact you, how would they contact you now on the www and the World Wide Web? How do they reach you?
Okay, well, social media, of course. I have Instagram, and you can find me at Danna Dian. Well, it's Danna DANNA_DIANK. And then Snapchat is D Kennelly, KENNELLY 89. And then am I missing one? Instagram. What else do I got?
You got Twitter?
Twitter, Danna Dian XO. You can find me on Twitter. And then my website is under construction, but soon will be ddgangstars.com, www.ddgangstars.com. So that's under construction, but it'll be coming to you.
Now, I got time for one question.
Yes.
So I'm going to make this last question count. If you can, think about it before you answer. If there is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's starting off, where you were X years ago, and you only get to tell them the one thing, be it good or bad, to look out for, to look forward to, whatever, what would you say?
That's hard. That's hard, but you know what? Those type of people know what time it is. Everyone does. You know what I mean? And it's up to you to either say, hey, this ain't my type of time, or it is, you know? Because it is so easy to just crumble, you know, especially when you're involved in drugs and prostitution and all that kind of stuff. Not that I was prostitution or anything, but just stay true to yourself. And don't let that shit win. Don't let that shit win, you know? So many beautiful lives have been taken by drugs and alcohol. It's not the cool thing, you know? Building a business out of a bedroom or, you know, there's so many better and more happier things in life, you know? Drugs will suck the life out of you. They will, you know? Prostitutes, for example, you know, the pimps. They suck the life out of them, you know, and it's heartbreaking. Our nation needs to come together and have each other's backs. One thing I can say is, you don't know a damn thing about loyalty because you ain't even being loyal to your damn self. You know what I mean? And that's about it, you know? You know what time it is, take it or leave it. And that's how it is.
And that is how it is. Hey, it's the Ace Micheals Show. If you ever want to be on the show, you can. All you have to do is call. You can call 702-540-3498. If you want to email, because you are too much of a player to pick up that phone, I understand. You can email us beyondthebuzz@yahoo.com. It's been my guest, Danna Dian, today on the show. I want to say, live the life you love the life you live. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you.